Hi, I'm Eric Barna, and I'm the coordinator for the Center for Teacher Education. I wanted to take a few minutes and discuss basically three things with you. The first is the Center for Teacher Education, and the second is what we can do to help you as you progress through your teacher preparation program. And then the third is to discuss your field experiences briefly with you and what those expectations are. First, the Center for Teacher Education is basically responsible for helping you as you progress through your teacher preparation so that what you do here at J. Sargent Reynolds transfers onto a four-year school so that you can finish your teacher licensure. In that capacity, my background may be helpful to you in that for 16 years, I was in public education here in Virginia, 6 as a teacher, 10 as an administrator, predominantly at the middle school and high school level. So as a principal, I worked with brand new teachers a great deal, and also obviously hired a lot of teachers, so I can help you as you progress through, should you have any questions about any of those things that may come along. Additionally, at the Center for Teacher Education, we will help you in any way that we can, so please don't hesitate to contact us. The contact information for the Center for Teacher Education is included in a posting that should be on your Blackboard site. The third thing that I would like to discuss is your field experiences and what our expectations are as you go into schools. Field experiences are very important in that they basically become a job interview for you. You are going to be a role model for students as you walk into that building, and so you should be sure that you are acting professionally, ethically, and you should really start thinking like a teacher as opposed to a student. I think that you'll find as you go through your field experiences, number one, you'll learn a lot. Number two, you will find that working in your field experiences, you will find that being on the other side of the desk from the teacher's perspective is a lot different than being on the side of the desk as a student. On the handout, I'm not going to read everything that's on there for you. You're perfectly capable of doing that, but there are a couple of things that I do want to highlight. And the first one I've already touched on, and that is act professionally. You are now expected to act more like a teacher than a student, and so you need to be taking your cues from your cooperating teacher and be sure that you are acting professionally and ethically in everything that you're doing when you're in schools. One thing that you may not realize at this point is that every teacher contract in the state of Virginia has a clause in it that's called a moral turpitude clause. And basically what that means is you are expected to act right in every aspect of your life, whether it's in school or out of school. And because that's part of your contract, that is a legal requirement that you have. And if you don't meet those requirements, then that is grounds for dismissal for a teacher. Generally does not happen very often, but that is something that you need to keep in mind, that will be in your contract, and the expectation is that you will be a role model not only in the school but in the community in which you reside. The second thing I want to talk about is confidentiality. Students have a legal right to confidentiality. Your academic records here at J. Sargent Reynolds are confidential. Same thing with students in K-12 schools. So that means that should you have to have a conversation regarding a student, you do that where nobody else hears that when you're talking with your cooperating teacher. That means in a classroom or an office where the door's closed. There is a very high standard for that. And that also means that you don't talk outside of school about students. Every student in the building that you'll be participating in has a right to confidentiality, so that means what goes on in that school when it comes to student records do not leave that building. Additionally, you need to keep your interactions with teachers, with administrators, with parents, with anybody that you come into contact with at those schools those are confidential conversations and are not fodder for gossip for you to be talking about outside of school. Finally, I just want to touch briefly about dress. The standard, or the very minimal standard, is business casual. For guys, it's much easier to deal with, and I'm not even going to try to tell the ladies what to wear, but generally for guys, the minimum would be a pair of khakis and a dress or a polo shirt. Often, schools will require ties, but you'll have to find that out because each site will be different. The rule of thumb is that you should dress more conservatively than, say, liberally. If you have a question about whether something is appropriate for school or not, then you should probably put that back in the closet and wear something that is more conservative. Finally, the last thing that I want to discuss is the Student Virginia Education Association. The VEA is the Teachers Association, the professional association for teachers in the state of Virginia. As a student who is pursuing a teacher preparation program, you can join the Student VEA, and that information is also on that handout. The Student VEA is your voice, not only as a student, but also as you progress on into teaching. That is your voice. That is how the issues that affect you as a teacher will be made, I would say, public or made known to policymakers, both at the state and at the national level, because as a VEA member, you'll also be a member of the national organization, which is the National Education Association. I don't have anything to do with the VEA other than having been a member as a teacher, and I strongly recommend that you consider joining. One of the benefits that comes along with it, and this by no means should be the reason that you join the VEA, but it is a side benefit, is that they provide liability insurance in case something happens while you are doing a field experience, where a student gets injured or something happens along those lines, and you were in a position to either be negligible or to have prevented it or something along those lines. That liability insurance also provides legal fees, those kind of things. And I can't think in 16 years of anybody that ever had to use that, but it's nice to know that you have it. One of the things here at J. Sargent Reynolds is we do have a student VEA chapter, and at the CTE we are trying to get that organization to be more active on campus. So you will be seeing some information disseminated to you here shortly in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, where there will be meetings where you can find out more about VEA and also about the J. Sargent Reynolds chapter. That's about all I want to touch on. If you have questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, my contact information is on the handout. My phone number is 804-523-5542, and my email is ebarna@reynolds.edu. Thank you.